This is Amateur Logic, episode 98 for December 15th, 2016. This episode of Amateur Logic was brought to you by MFJ, the world leaders in ham radio accessories at mfjenterprises.com, and by ICOM. Surprise your favorite ham this season with the gift that's on their Santa list. Good evening and welcome to the Christmas edition for 2016 of Amateur Logic. I'm George.
I'm Tommy.
I'm Peter.
I'm Emile.
And I'm Mike.
And we've got another fun show lined up for you tonight. This one,
We got a full house tonight.
we do have a full house. We want to welcome our friend, VE3MIC, Mike from the Great White North with us tonight. Hi, Mike.
Hi, everyone. And yes, it is Great White North. We got about 5 inches of fresh white stuff on the ground when we woke up this morning. So it's looking a lot like Christmas, that's for sure.
Wow, 5 inches. That's like, what, 10 years worth down here?
Yeah. So, well, you think that'll stay on the ground until Christmas?
I think so. It's been below freezing pretty much, for the past week. It'll get maybe a degree or two above freezing during the day, and then at night it's below freezing again.
Okay. It must be pretty cold. I see you let some of the pets in over there beside you.
So, is that like a double-barrel Santa Claus hat you have on there?
It's actually a triple barrel. There's another one out the back.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Very cool.
Peter, what's going on in Melbourne this fine evening?
Well, not a great deal. Weather down here has been very, very mild though, which is nice. So, and like yourselves, we're just winding down after a long year, and looking forward to the Christmas break, which will be great.
Okay. Emile, are you getting ready for Papa Noel?
Yeah. We're lined up here. The chimney's been swept and ready for two-way traffic. And I don't know what that snow stuff Mike was talking about is all about. I'm not even sure I understand what he's talking about. But the temperatures are starting to feel like winter here.
It's kind of like the mud we have here. It's just white.
Oh, mud. Okay.
Yeah.
You know that.
Think of it as like ice cream, but without the sugar.
Not as sweet up here.
So
No.
Repo Claus going to come see you this year?
Absolutely. In fact, I got something to show you in regards to that a little bit later.
Awesome.
Well, Tommy, what's been up in your world?
Just been kind of tinkering around with some Linux stuff around the house a little bit. What little bit I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been tinkering around with some Arduino stuff.
Have you?
And man, I got to tell you, just been having a blast with it. It's like, remember when you first started learning to program and fooling with computers?
Oh, yeah.
It just brings those memories back.
Yeah, those things are so much fun. I need to find another Arduino project to get mine back out.
You don't really need much of an excuse, You got a LED and a push button, you're ready to go.
That's true.
Well, full show tonight. I guess we need to get on with it. We got a couple of, I don't know if you call them housekeeping announcements, but a couple of announcements we want to make tonight. Those of you who are watching on the live stream, we're streaming in HD tonight, and I believe it's going to keep up okay. We did the last time college this way. The internet kept up just fine with it. But now some of you, if you've got limited bandwidth and you're getting some dropouts in your video, it's not quite keeping up. On YouTube, at the bottom of the window there's a I think it looks like a gear, a little icon you can click on. Yeah, and you can choose whether you want HD or 480p, 360p, or whatever resolution you want there. Drop down to a little lower number, and it should pick up just fine.
Yeah. We also have some changes coming in the RSS feeds, don't we?
Well, that and the download episodes as well. We've made some software changes and improvements. We are actually dropping the size of the files and improving the quality at the same time.
Yeah, massive drop in the size.
And a pretty good jump in quality,
and
too.
And they look so good, too, man.
Yeah. So we're going to be dropping out some of the formats. For years, back when we first started doing this, all the video podcasts used to offer several flavors. So we've had an MP4, an HD, a couple of different bit rates of Windows Media Video, and MP3. Well, that takes a long time to get all that together, and it delays.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, and it delays getting things posted. Microsoft really doesn't hardly support Windows Media Video anymore. So we're going to drop that format altogether. It shouldn't affect anyone. You should still be able to watch the MP4s on any computer probably made in the last 10 years.
Yeah, even Raspberry Pis.
Yeah.
Play it just fine. So pretty much any computer you're running now should be good.
So I guess what we're getting at, we're going to be down to, instead of, 6 or 5 or 6 files we do every month. I think there's 6
files that we do every time.
We're going to be releasing the shows in HD. We're going to also continue to release it in an SD format suitable for iPods.
That's the one that goes to iTunes.
Yeah, and it's a MP4 file, H.264 file, so it's good quality. It's just a little bit lower resolution, so the file size will be a little smaller. And we're going to still be releasing the MP3 for people, listening to audio podcasts. Yeah. So if you've got, I guess essentially if you've got the Windows Media Video formats that you're using the RSS feed at our site, those will be going away.
Yeah, I'll try to redirect them if I can. But if they cease to get updated, then you go to the site and subscribe to one of the other ones.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do my best to redirect them if I can.
Yeah, but the quality improvement was quite substantial in file sizes. Big change in size.
It's going to take a big load off of you rendering so many and uploading them, and it's going to make the maintenance of the RSS feeds a lot easier as well.
Yeah, we just ran a test on this. The last episode of Ham College, we streamed it in HD, and we used the new software to do the video compression. It looks a lot better on Roku as well. So the Roku feed will still be there too, because I know a lot of people watch that thing. Yeah, that won't change. It'll just be better quality. So better quality across the board, smaller file sizes. It almost sounds like some kind of political promises there or something. We've got not many emails tonight because we've got a good bit of video to go through and some stuff to give away too. We
quite
promised,
a few things.
Yeah, we promised some Christmas gifts, and we've got some.
Yeah,
we'll be drawing.
Guess we're going to deliver. We
are going to deliver, and we're going to kind of clean out the shack here a little bit at the same time.
Yeah, it's getting kind of tight.
Yeah, it really is. So, Tommy, what have you got over there email-wise tonight?
I actually do have an email. This one's actually regarding Ham College, not just Amateur Logic, but and it's really nice to hear. This one's from Jim. He just got his ticket. Says, I wanted to thank you for your efforts in creating Ham College. It was just the general reintroduction to radio and electronics that I needed after so many years from being away from ham radio. I was a novice in the early 60s and never seemed to have the time or budget to pursue a higher class license. Well, after 20 lessons through Ham College and a thorough study of the ARRL Technician Study Guide, I took the exam on November the 19th and checked the ULS today on the 1st of December, and there was my new call sign, KG5QNI. I must say that I still look forward to new episodes of Ham College. Thanks again, Jim. So anyway, that's great to hear, Jim. We've got quite a few emails about people that have gotten their
We
ticket.
are. And you know, we mentioned Ham College there. That's the other show that we do. And it's really been quite successful. Yeah, at least as much as we had hoped, I think.
Oh, yeah.
We hear from so many people that...
Yeah, a lot of Ham College graduates out there. We've got quite a few emails. We don't always read those. We probably should read more of them on here. But, yeah, we get quite a few of those. And when we were in Dayton, we had quite a few people come by and said that they got encouragement from Ham College to go on and get their ticket. Yeah.
Tommy, just looking up here at the monitor, I feel like I'm in a winter wonderland tonight.
Yeah.
What is this background we got for this show?
This is actually a yard near my home. It's actually only a small portion of it. It's so huge, man. It's like...
I saw the video you shot.
Yeah, it's probably like 10 times of what you see right here.
Yeah.
That's really there. So,
I was surprised there was anything like that around here. I did not know about that. I've still got to go see it.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I've actually been by there twice already this year.
Yeah.
So nice photo, Tommy. I keep forgetting you still do photography as well, right?
Yeah, when I have time. I enjoy doing that.
Nice photo.
Well, speaking of making new hams, Peter, what is your segment on tonight?
Well, actually, it's funny you're talking about Ham College because it's a good lead into my segment. It's really, obviously you do lots of study and lots of preparation for your exams, but sometimes, you need just something a little extra to help you, and that's exam technique. And that's what I've got a few tips for you that will help you get a few extra marks when you're sitting your exam.
Oh, cool.
Well, I wish I would have known about this.
Yeah.
Hello again. A lot of our viewers have been following along at Ham College and soon will be doing their exams in the hope of one day becoming an amateur radio operator. Sometimes, though, the difference between passing and failing can be just a few marks, and that's where knowing some exam technique can make a real difference. I've done many, many exams over the years, everything from university degree exams to language exams, and of course, amateur radio exams. So today, I'm going to give you 5 simple tips that will help you get a better mark when you do your exams. The first tip is to make sure you get a good night's sleep before the exam and save any partying until after you've passed the exam. You're not going to perform as well in an exam if you have a hangover or if you're really tired. Okay, the exam has started. What should you do? Start with question 1 and work forward? No. This is where a lot of people trip up. Question 1 might be really, really hard, and you might spend half an hour just trying to answer it, time that could be better used elsewhere. Instead, here's what you need to do. Quickly read through the exam and mark all the easy questions. That's to say, the questions that you know the answer to. Now, go and answer the questions that you've just marked. It should not take you very long. You will accrue a lot of correct marks very quickly, and you'll have lots of time to spend on the harder questions. You've raced through the exam and done the easy questions, but you still need to get some more marks in order to pass the exam. However, the questions that remain are tricky. What can you do to make answering these questions easier? Well, typically, multiple choice questions have 4 or more answers, and of course, only one answer is correct. Often, though, there's 1 or more answers listed that are clearly and recognisably wrong. So, put a line through that answer or otherwise mark it as wrong for your own purposes. You might just put a little dot after it or something. Just make sure that you know that that's a wrong answer and you're not going to answer the question with it. Now, instead of there being 4 potential answers, you now have only 3 to choose from. And sometimes after careful thinking, you can find another clearly wrong answer, and that just leaves 2 potential right answers. In some cases, you may not know the correct answers, but you can work it out by a process of elimination, because all the other answers are wrong, so the only thing left must be the right answer. The 4th tip is for use in situations where you've only got a couple of minutes left in the exam, but you have a number of questions still unanswered. Panic, panic, you're running out of time. Now, this tip should only be used in multiple choice exams where you don't get marks deducted for wrong answers. The tip is to randomly select and mark an answer from each of the remaining questions. Why? Well, let's say you have 12 questions left to answer, and each question has 4 potential answers. That means that if you randomly select an answer for any question, you have a 1 in 4 chance of getting it right. Statistically speaking, the odds are that if you randomly answer 12 questions and each question has 4 potential answers, on average you should get 3 right and 9 wrong. That means that you just got 3 extra marks more than if you had run out of time and not marked anything. On the other hand, if your multiple choice exam has marks deducted for wrong answers, you would pick up 3 marks for the right answers and lose 9 for the wrong ones, a net loss of 6 marks. So always check whether you lose marks for wrong answers. If you don't, then it's okay to randomly select answers if you've only got a few minutes left. The final tip is the opposite of tip number 4. Let's say you finish the exam early and you have 20 minutes left. What should you do? The answer is, firstly, go back through the exam paper and make sure that you've answered every question. After this, if you still have time, go back through each question and carefully double check the questions and your answers. Sometimes you may have been in a rush to answer a question, and after a second look, you realise that what you thought was an obvious answer was actually a bit more complicated. That's okay, just use your spare time to double check your work and make any corrections as necessary. So let's recap the 5 tips. Number 1, get a good night's sleep. 2, answer the easy questions first. 3, use a process of elimination for harder questions. 4, if you're nearing the last few minutes of the exam, randomly select answers for the remaining questions. And 5, if you finish the exam early, use the remaining time to go back and check your answers. If you follow those 5 tips, I guarantee that you will do better at any multiple choice exam that you do. Good luck.
Well, that's some good tips, Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done a few multiple choice exams over the years, and those are tips that you pick up, and they've worked well for me.
Yeah, cool, good stuff.
Yeah, always good to get some tips when you're going to take a test. Any shortcuts, I'm all for them generally.
You're all for them?
Yeah.
So
But,
you really shouldn't party during the exam, Peter?
You're probably not allowed to.
Okay.
I didn't see anything about writing notes on your wrist or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't recall seeing that, but it doesn't sound like...
It doesn't sound very kosher, does it?
Yeah. I guess if you had them tattooed in there, though, they couldn't say anything about it. Well, thanks for that, Peter. I'm sure that'll help. If it even helps one more ham,
Yeah.
Yeah. As I said, it can be the difference between passing and failing an exam, just 1 or 2 marks. So if you use your time effectively, which is largely what those tips are about, then you'll have more time to work on those harder questions.
Yep. Well, I've got an email here that, who did this come from? Ronald Hughes W5MPY, and he said, George, do you have a source for those little red straws that come taped to the side of cans of lubricant and cleaner? Thanks for all your work on Ham Nation Amateur Logic. Amateur radio is alive and well in Altus, Oklahoma. AJ5Q on reflector 66.
Cool.
Yeah, the little red straws, the ones that like come with your
WD-40 and contact cleaner.
contact cleaner, Pro Gold.
Pro Gold.
No, I had to answer him and say, no, I don't know a source for those. I wish I did. And they're not all the same size either. There are some different sizes of straws. This sounds like a question from Mike, though. Mike, do you know of where you might could come up with some of those straws?
That is a very good question. I have never seen them other than on the product themselves. I've seen them sold individually, separately.
I haven't either.
Yeah,
Never
I think
have.
the key is don't lose them. Like I put like double rubber bands around them, and like stick it to the can.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'll pop off of there and they'll be on their way somewhere.
Yeah, that's a... Go ahead, Mike.
No, and you are correct. There are a couple of different sizes, it seems, different diameters.
That certainly is. Well, we've got a little message here that, Mike, I think you correspond with this guy. I didn't notice if it's in the chat room tonight or not.
I think I've seen him in there before.
But it's a little Christmas greeting here.
You know this mouse doesn't work worth a flip on my iPad over here.
Yeah. Since it's connected to my computer up here.
Yeah, I'm probably waving it all over the screen.
Yeah, if the stream quits, it's because...
It's because I'm trying to click on my iPad.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at
Dear ham
this.
radio friends, greetings from Finland, land of Santa Claus. Today, it's December 6, 2016. It's Finland's Independence Day. In year 2017, we do have celebrated 100 years of the independence, so ham radio operators do have some privileges during that year. Some other specialties will appear on the radio waves as well. I will send very warm 73 for every ham radio operators through the world. Oscar Hotel 7 Tango, Teme, Finland.
Awesome.
We've debated on how you pronounce Time's name before, and I think I've got it right once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you do it different every time?
Yeah, it's spelled T-E-M-E, and
Yeah.
but I think we've gotten pretty close.
Yeah.
A number of times. But I did learn something else there that I'm not pronouncing right. At Amateur Logic, we spent the last 11 years teaching people all over the world how to mispronounce common English words.
Yeah.
So
That's what we do.
I noticed the first thing he said there is greetings from the land of Santa Claus.
Yeah.
We've been getting that wrong, apparently.
True.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure we'll do it again, too.
Oh, given it half a chance? Yeah. Well, we'll be back in just a moment, but first let's get a message from one of our sponsors, MFJ. When you've got multiple pieces of gear that operate at the same voltage, it often makes more sense to power them from one large power supply rather than several smaller ones. How can you connect this gear together safely using Anderson power pole connectors? MFJ's got more solutions than anyone else. The MFJ 1106 is an inexpensive, compact, low-profiled, unfused DC distribution platform with 7 Anderson power pole connectors, all connected in parallel, permitting one DC input to be shared by 6 DC outputs. Any connector may be used as input or output, and the total current carrying capacity is 30 amps. The MFJ 1104 is a 1-in, 3-out power pole splitter rated at 30 amps total. Each output is fused to protect your gear at 5, 10, and 25 amps. The MFJ 1124 combines 4 sets of power pole connectors with 2 sets of high current bonding posts for 40 amps total. The power pole connectors and binding post are each rated at 35 amps. You use the supplied 25, 10, 5, and 1 amp fuses in any order you prefer. The MFJ1126 is a 40 amp power capacity splitter that features 8 sets of 35 amp power pole connectors with multiple 25, 10, 5, and 1 amp fuses. 3 of the outputs are unswitched and 4 are switched with the front panel rocker switch. Plus, you get a 0 to 25 voltmeter for added confidence. The MFJ 1128 steps it up a notch with 12 sets of Anderson power pole connectors. 3 are unswitched and 9 are switched. The MFJ 1129 offers the ultimate in flexibility with 7 sets of power pole connectors, 3 sets of 5-way binding posts, 7 switched outlets, and the input voltmeter. No matter what your needs are, MFJ's got the solution. Visit mfjenterprises.com today. Well, Emile, what kind of cheap stuff have you been working on down there recently?
Well, in the true spirit of amateur logic, and I mean that literally, I had a need in the shack to dedicate a certain type of antenna because I got tired of switching and having switch networks and everything, and I said, okay, enough is enough. So I put all my brain cells together, all 2 of them, and came up with this segment.
Okay.
Awesome.
It sounds almost incriminating.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Cheap Old Man Minutes. In this project, I made a J-pole antenna that I can hang from my trees with some basic calculation knowledge off of the internet and some inspiration from KT4QW and KG0ZZ and some basic supplies that you can get anywhere. I had a need in my shack to dedicate an antenna to a particular band and scaled one and put it together, and worked out great. And you can use these plans for the same on your end. So this is the results. Hello, George, Peter, and Tommy. Here you can see my TJ pole with this PVC support system and feed system that goes up to allow me to hang this up into the trees. And oh, that one's hard to see. There you go. So there it is. There it is in this tree. It's kind of hard to see here, but just to give you a scale, the long side of this conductor, or this J pole, is about 36 feet. So there's a challenge. Let me know if you figured out what this is, what band it's for, and why it's so big as a J pole or tall. The majority of the work here is getting the feed point and the shape to remain in that shape of that J, but the feed point is where all the work is. You can see here I have the body, a conduit body, some PVC that the conductor goes through, and it's THHN, and the joint here is soldered, wrapped pretty good, and then sealed with the seal tape, and you can see they are uniform. Now most of these J-poles are built with, maybe some elements, metal elements or tubing. The reason I chose wire for this one is the length of this particular one, so I wanted to hang it from the tree so I can hoist it up there. The actual conduit body has the connector screwed into the bottom of it, which I'm going to seal up with some non-conductive foam, and so water doesn't get in. Even though it is pointing down towards the ground, you still want to seal that up. And this the wires are in there, so it's mechanically sound. There's no real stress on this feed point piece here, but it is a part of the structure to keep the distance between the wires here on the J-pole, which I've learned is not that critical, actually, even though I did do it to scale using the calculations. The distance between these conductors here are not that critical from what I learned. And so far, the antenna is performing right where I wanted it to, so it looks like it worked as far as that goes. But anyway, this is the TJ pole.
Was that the Emile homebrew two-tone test generator?
Did you like that, Mike?
That was awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. The man didn't even waste money on an oscillator.
Yeah.
Why do that when it's right here, you know? Boo! That's it. That's it.
You got it down, man.
So,
you got it.
You said how many feet?
36 feet.
36.
Does that sound familiar?
17 meters.
Full wavelength, 36 feet.
Oh, full wavelength.
Full wave.
That's
Oh, hang on. 6 meter band?
Not 6 meters.
No.
Around the 27 megahertz range.
Ooh.
Oh, 10 meters.
wow.
See,
Yeah.
it's actually 11 meters.
What? You're not one of them.
You can't use. You can't string
It
those
is
two letters
something-
together.
I have the radio in my shack, and I kept switching antennas to it, and I said enough is enough. So I finally put the chicken band antenna up and dedicated that rig to it and said that's it. But
Wow.
again, that plan can be scaled to any band. It's just that's the one I picked.
Oh, wow. But he
I
must have been,
never would have guessed that.
No.
He built the antenna for that one.
he must have been listening to Wayne or something.
Yeah.
No,
Maybe he's talking to Wayne.
Yeah. Maybe so. So how does it work, or can you tell us?
Oh yeah, it does. It works very well. You know, I live where 3 interstates meet and join, so there's plenty of traffic, and I've actually talked to several people pretty far out as far as CB goes. I mean, it's only 4 watts, but it works very well.
How many times have you ID'd on there? That's what I want to know.
I've not ID'd yet. I do have another call. You know, when I first started, the handle, as they call it, right, way back then was Mojo Man, which is modulation, right?
Ah. So, let's see. Then by estimates, I could have one of those for 80 meters if I had maybe a 230, 240 foot tree.
Yeah, you don't want to use elements for that. And you know, it's so funny you say that, George, but that's why I used it. I was trying to think, let's see, 36 feet. No, that's not going to happen. So I did it out of THHN, which does affect the velocity factor you use when you calculate it. So check out those calculations on the plans there.
Okay. He actually did some ciphering.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool. I've never seen anybody do that with a HF antenna before.
No.
I'm sure there's some out there. I haven't seen it though.
But it was cheap, so it's right on target.
Yep. Yep.
You still live up to the hype, Emile, every time, brother.
There you go.
Every time, brother.
You know, and he just kind of like capped it off with the oscillator there at the end too.
Heck yeah.
Well, Emile, you've got a little QSL card here that you mentioned you were going to show us tonight, and if I can get to it.
You know, my kids know around the house here at this time of season, this time of year especially, that the chimney is definitely a two-way street.
You're,
you know, if you notice all the stuff on the right-hand side of this picture here, these are things that are usually in the outbound direction to, you know, certain locations, and then the stuff on the left is definitely on the inbound. So, you know, you ever wonder why Santa's sack is always bulging with all of those presents? You know, it's a two-way street for sure, and Repo Claus has quite the reputation here.
Okay, well, I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not, but hey, it keeps the landfills clean, right?
Yeah, and it keeps the projects coming. Yes.
What is that PDA that's at the top of that card? Is that an Apple Newton, or is that one of those sharp ZDA things?
I have no idea what that is.
That looks like an Apple Newton. I had one of those still.
Yeah, I've got one of those sharp. I think it's called a ZDA, big giant PDA tablet. You remember those things? It's like that. It's like that big.
Yeah.
It was awesome at the time.
Yeah.
I've still got it.
Keep hoping to cash in
Well,
on eBay with my original Newton Message Pad 1.
Yeah, they're going.
But it's I'm gonna have to hang on to it for about another 40 years.
Yeah, they're going to come back around in style one day. They're going to be a hot item.
Mm-hmm.
well, you big guys, we normally put out milk and cookies and things. Don't leave your old electronics just hidden away in a dusty closet somewhere. Put them out there, and you'll be surprised at what happens.
Repo clause.
Repo clause.
There you go.
Well, while
Bill, you would clean up here in Ontario. We have a stewardship program in place. So we pay a levy on every new electronic product that we buy, and it's supposed to cover the cost of the electronic waste. So it's supposed to be responsibly recovered. But they have these little green bins just at sporadic businesses, and you just drop your unwanted electronics off in these bins, and then they get collected eventually and recycled responsibly.
Yeah,
Nice.
You can do that at the Best Buy here.
Oh, they take the old electronics back?
Yeah, there's a place out right when you walk in the front door. You can drop different things in there, and then even some of the bigger things, they'll take them if you set them to the side.
Yep.
Nice.
Or they can end up as projects of the future here in the shack.
Yeah, depends on who's looking when you walk through there.
You got Jim and, Christmas here for the last few years. You've had some kind of Christmas hijinks for us, and you got a couple of nights. Kind of set this first one up for us, or if you want to, or you just want to play it.
Just let it rip, and I don't think it needs any introduction, actually, either one of them, for that matter.
Okay. Well, let's have a look then.
Let her rip.
Y'all sing along.
Peter, feel free to sing along.
I'll pass all that, thanks.
Everybody knows a junk box full of salvage parts.
Is that Rockin' Ray?
And it's COM approved, too.
I'm going to get my fire extinguisher. Tiny parts.
I sure hope that we've still got that disclaimer, do not try this at home.
Yeah.
Keep watching.
I don't hear any singing.
We're waiting for Rock and Ray. It looks like he's making s'mores.
I can just smell the rosin now.
Nice speed.
Keep your eye on the prize. I wish I would have had a little bit more time to work on that, George. I didn't do so hot on the transitions.
should have sang that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know the words.
They're right there.
It's on the bottom of the screen.
I don't have my glasses on.
Uh-oh.
It was rocking. There it went.
Oh.
Better wear long pants.
Very wise advice.
Yeah. That was great.
And the Jimmy did have a disclaimer: do not try this at home.
Yes. And that
Good advice.
disclaimer is also in the credits of every show we do. Well, you were looking for something to come up with for Christmas. I think, that really just kind of put a warm spot in all our hearts there. As a matter of fact,
Jimmy certainly ignited the spirit again for us. So
That's a classic,
This-
man.
There's a certain irony that the warmth comes down from such a cold country.
yeah. I don't know much else we can say about that. I mean, that just speaks for itself.
Yeah, somebody on there was asking how Jimmy's doing these days.
He's doing good.
KC5KWZ is. He's been on the radio a little bit.
I talked
A
to
few
him,
times.
I think it was last week, a
Yeah.
couple times at least. So, he's still out there.
He's
I
still
think he's
pretty
really
good.
getting into programming.
Yeah,
right
he's still
now.
really heavy into programming and stuff right at the moment.
Yeah, but he says he's working back in, trying to get more active again.
Yeah,
on
he'll
radio.
come full circle. He just
yeah,
kind
he
of does
will.
that. He kind of
He
like,
will.
he always
He'll be
comes
back
back
around.
home to AM radio stuff.
Well, tell you what, let's take a break here, get a message from ICOM, and we'll be right back with some more fun.
Okay.
'Tis the season. The holidays are here. Surprise your favorite ham this season with the gift that's on their Santa list. The holidays are just around the corner, and ICOM has an array of radios to fill your stockings and place under the tree. Just arrived for the holidays, the ID51A Plus 2 provides new models for extended D-Star coverage. Available in 5 colors, the ID51A Plus 2 is the perfect stocking stuffer. Terminal and access mode, send and receive text messages and pictures, DV fast data mode, and easy FM repeater settings. Ideas for the contest are on the go? Try the IC7300. It's a high-performance, innovative HF transceiver with a compact design. The real fun starts here. RF direct sampling, 15 discrete bandpass filters, large 4.3-inch color touchscreen, real-time spectrum scope, and SD memory card slot. Push performance to the pinnacle with the IC7600. Following in the footsteps of ICOM's flagship radio, the IC7600 has an intuitive operation and the latest DSP technologies. Digital IF filter, dual DSP, 5.8-inch ultra-wide TFT display, and high-resolution real-time spectrum scope. Visit ICOMAmerica.com/amateur for more information on all the great ICOM radios. Nice looking HTs there, Tom.
Yeah, those are the new ones. I like the little camo patterns in there.
Yeah.
Need to talk to Uncle Ray about getting one of those to play around with on the show.
Okay, well, what have you got for us this month? I know you've got some old hardware.
I had we had a
recliner.
laptop. My wife gave it to a friend that needed it for school teaching. Well, it died. She sent it back to me to repair, and it wasn't worth the money to fix it. It's stuff to put windows. She didn't have the install, so I'm recycling it this time. If you remember a few months ago, I read an email from one of our viewers and friends named Rude. RPA3RW, I believe, is his call sign, if I remember right. Anyway, he told us about a Linux distro called ShackBox. So I thought I'd give it a try. I mentioned I was interested in it, and I've kind of acquired an old laptop that used to be my wife's, and she gave it to a friend, and it died. The hard drive died. So today we're going to revive it and install the distro on it, and then in the subsequent segment we'll go through the ShackBox distro and see what's pretty cool about it. It looks like the guy did a really nice job setting it up. So some of this may be old school for you guys, but there are a lot of guys that aren't comfortable in opening up the laptop and replacing a hard drive. But we're going to go ahead and go through that and go through the steps. And I downloaded the distro from ShackBox URL right here and burned it to a DVD, and we'll install that. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and unplug the power. I have the power supply hooked up to the laptop, so I'll just unplug it, hang it over here out of the way for the moment. And let's flip over the hard drive where the drive is. I believe, if I remember right, it's under this box right here. Just takes a couple of Phillips head screws. Look at your manual for your old laptop that you're wanting to work on, and it'll usually tell you where it is. Usually it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out where the hard drive is in there anyway, and they're usually pretty easy to replace. So let's go ahead and do that. And this one, it looks like we just need this little small Phillips head screwdriver. So let's go ahead and do that. And before anybody says anything about not having a grounding strap, I live in the South. It's super humid, and it's an old laptop, and I'm not that worried about it anyway. But if you live in a dry area and you're prone to static, definitely ground yourself. Yep, and there it is. Okay, so let's see if we can get it out of here. And this one's pretty easy. It just pulls right out. It's got a little strap on it. And what we need to look at is the interface. This one has these two edge connectors. This means this is a serial ATA drive. Well, over the years, I've saved old hard drives from upgrading my own gear, laptops that have died, some of them at work they were throwing away, various things. And so I've got 3 portable cases that I've been using them in. And I wrote down what they are, the sizes of them, and the interface. This is a 250 gig serial ATA right here. I think that's what I'm going to need to use. Let's look and see what else we've got. 60 gig ATA. This is very old school right here. I'll be lucky if I ever find anything that'll take that thing. And then in this one, I've got a 500 gig serial ATA. So either this one or the 250 will work. And since this is just a Linux box I'm going to play around with, we'll put the smaller 250 in there. So we're going to need to put this mounting piece on, this cage that's around the drive, so it'll fit right back in where it came from. So let's go ahead and take it off. Again, it takes Phillips head screws. Always pay close attention to the orientation of things. The edge connectors are on this end and the gold plates are down. So, and be careful with your screws. So I'll lay that one there. I'm really looking forward to checking out the distro. That you can, if you don't want to format a drive and mount it permanently in there, or install it permanently rather, you can actually boot from that CD and play around with it. So it's called a live boot CD, and it allows you to tinker around with it without doing any destruction. So I'm going to leave that sitting in there for the moment until I remove my drive I want to use from this case. And we'll do the same thing. And I know this is probably dangerous to lay this across here, but I don't have a lot of room. Just be careful that your screws don't fall down into your laptop if you take the dangerous way out like I did. I pulled it out, and this one is easy. It just slides right onto the edge connector. So it's that simple. So I'll put this back in. Put the 2 screws back in so that I won't lose them, and I can reuse that case at a later time. Now if that's done, let's put the other drive into the case, or into the little frame, so we can mount it into the computer. So I'll take the disc out of the little case. Again, pay attention to the orientation. Goes out just like that. This one goes in the exact same way. Make sure your holes are lined up and you're good to go. So let's plug it back in. We'll put it back around the same way. I think this should have been at the top when I put it in last time. That way we have the little ribbon to pull it back out if we ever need to remove it again. And we'll put the cover back on and the screws back in, and then we can power it up. I'll go ahead and plug the power back in. The computer holds a charge, but I don't remember the battery ever being that strong in it, so we'll go ahead and plug it in just to be safe. Now when we boot it up, it's not going to come up to any operating system because there's not one on that drive. It was used for my Mac for some storage at one point. I haven't used it in years, and I'm just going to wipe everything off of it. So let's power up. When the power comes up, let's go ahead and open up the CD drive and put our bootable drive in. As I said, I already downloaded the ISO file, which is basically a DVD image. It took quite a while. It was 4 gigs, and I burned it using my utility on my computer to this blank disk, blank DVD disk. Now you'll have to follow your instructions with your computer. You know, you may use a Mac, you may be using a Windows box or whatever, so your software may be different than mine. So I didn't show that step, but it's a lot of information out there on accomplishing that. Okay, so it says there's no bootable disk in here. Like I said, there's no operating system on it. I did put the CD in, as you saw, so let's reboot. Control-Alt-Delete. When the menu comes up on this laptop, if you hit F12, you can see down here, hit F12 and it'll go into the boot menu. And we can choose what we want to boot from. So I'm going to pick CD and DVD. Alright, so it booted up to the CD. It came up to a menu, live boot, boot in safe graphics mode, install, run a memory test, or HD boot from the hard disk. I'm going to go ahead and do install. While that's booting up, I'm going to go ahead and apologize for the nice reflection of my ceiling fan up there. At least I don't have the light running, but this old computer doesn't have a video out that I can actually capture with any of my gear, so I don't really have much of a choice on this one. Okay, we came back up to the installer. One thing we need to do is make sure that this keyboard is showing English if you're in the US, or if it's French or other, be sure you pick the right one. Otherwise, when you type in the password in a moment, it's not going to recognize it. So I changed mine to English. I'm going to go ahead and run this installer. And the password, default one, is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. We will change that password probably in the next segment because you don't want to leave any default high-level passwords like that. It's asking for if we English, and yes, we are English. And prepare to install. We're not connected to the internet, but I think I'm going to need to have it on the hard drive before I do that. And we are plugged into a power source. So let's go ahead and run through it, and then we'll configure the networking later. Erase the disk and install ShackBox is one of the options. That's what we want to do. You could encrypt it or use Logical Volume Manager. We don't want to do that here, so let's just continue. Starting up the partitioner. So I know there's one partition on here that I used for my Mac. I'll check my time zone. I'm in the central time zone right here. Continue. And keyboard again is US. Who am I? I am Tommy. And this is ShackBox. Good enough. And my username will be Tommy, and I'll type in a top secret password. Top secret password entered. Require my password to log in, yes. Alright, now we're copying files to the disk. Looks so far pretty easy. Took a little while. It was copying files, and it said installing system for just a moment. Now the screen went black, so I'm assuming it's installing the drivers. Hopefully it's going to come back up here in just a moment. Installation has finished. You can continue testing ShackBox Premium now, but until you restart your computer, any changes you make or documents you save will not be preserved. So let's go ahead and restart it. And we'll take this disk out. Well, you can see installing the hard drive or upgrading the hard drive in your laptop's pretty easy process. Depending on your laptop, of course. Takes a very minimal set of tools. We downloaded a free operating system that we're going to have to learn and set up and everything, and we'll go through that some together. Anyway, don't be scared to get those old computers out. If you got a friend that's going to throw one away, grab it, and you may be able to get a cheap hard drive off of eBay or whatever and bring that thing back to life. A lot of good hardware to be had out there for free or next to free. And we'll continue on with this coming up here pretty soon. 73.
A good use of an old laptop.
Yeah, be sure beat tossing it in the trash can.
Yeah, someone was asking there in the chat room, how long did it take? Do you know?
What, to do all that?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I could have probably done the whole thing in about 30 or 40 minutes. But because I was shooting it and it stopped, I probably was in there a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Piddling, getting things set up and everything. But it was easy. And I know it was kind of an easy project, but you'd be surprised how many people, when something simple like that goes bad, and they throw the computer away.
Yeah.
Or give it to repo clause.
or repo clause just takes it.
A repo clause just takes it.
Yeah.
So,
and a lot of times it's the hard drive that bails on those because it's one of the few mechanical moving parts in there. And even if you don't have a spare hard drive kicking around, the solid state drives, 256 gig drives are less than $100 now.
Yeah.
And you'll turn that old laptop into a rocket just by putting an SSD drive in.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to playing with the distro that I put on there. Somebody recommended that. I wrote it in an email, and it's got a lot of ham stuff on there already. I played with it a little after, and I had a little trouble. The repositories or something aren't right or something because I can't get the updates to go to get my wireless driver on. So I've got to work on that. But anyway, I plan on carrying on with it and showing the rest of the distro.
Cool.
It looks real interesting. So.
Yeah, it does. I'll be interested to see what all you can do with it.
Yeah, it's got some cool stuff. You're going to be surprised at one of them, but I'm going to wait to show you. I was pretty surprised at one of the things I saw.
Okay. Cool. Now that sounds intriguing.
Yeah.
Well, Peter, you've got email for us tonight, don't you?
I do indeed. I've got an email here from Patrick, VE6PRM in Alberta, Canada. It was a fairly long email, but this is a quick summary. He's included a picture of his first amateur rig from 1972, a WS number 52, which apparently is in the left of the picture. I'm sure that George will put that in post-editing. Read the vintage radio segment. He's currently got an ICOM IC7100 and an MFJ antenna tuner. And he says, read the vintage radio segment that I did recently. A little contact cleaner will fix the potentiometers, but remember to discharge the electrolytic capacitors first, as they can give a nasty shock. That's very good advice. He uses a 100 ohm 10 watt ballast resistor on a jumper cable grounded to the chassis to safely perform that task. Yeah, so very good advice there. Thanks very much, Patrick.
Yeah, thanks, Patrick. That does sound like a good idea. Well, getting back to the festive spirit here of the season, Mike, you've got Well, you got one more karaoke here for us, don't you?
All right.
I do, and I think you might be surprised who did this one.
Yeah, and let me just say that these are kind of inside jokes. You've got to kind of have watched the shows for a while to really get the full impact of.
Yeah. So this one's Emile's turn to sing.
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, Emile, sing along with us.
Okay.
And that's all.
Hey.
We should add.
Hey.
I was crying when we were doing that, man.
You and me both. Now,
You two remind me. Remember the Carol Burnett show and when Tim Conway and who was the other fellow? That
Harvey
was on
Korman?
there? Yeah. Was it Corman?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to get each other going, and it was contagious laughter.
Yeah. That's, there's a Christmas karaoke right there
Yeah.
from a blooper.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, no kidding. That was a funny blooper though, man.
it was. Yeah, well, I was going to say you'd have to have been here, but I think if you saw the blooper,
Well, maybe we ought to paste it in the release.
yeah, I'm not, if I can find it anymore. Well, I did. No, I didn't. Mike had that. He had it in his secret stash of
Okay.
weapons to be used against us in the future, I think.
I may have it.
And you were talking about this little button over here. That's how you would access
Yeah,
those, isn't it?
Yeah, the little round one. This is actually two functions. If you tap that thing, this actually allows you to. Okay. I didn't even realize I was saying that. Obviously.
Oh, I didn't for about 10 seconds. And then within a couple of seconds of me figuring it out, I think you did too.
Yeah.
And for the uninitiated, you'll have to go to the urbandictionary.com site to figure out what that is.
Oh, okay.
Now, guys, you have that thing that you're about to hit right there in between y'all, and I noticed, George, you're always tapping that thing.
Well, yes, I am, but you can't see it.
I can't see it. That's right.
I know you hear it sometime, though. Well, Mike, thanks for that. That's truly going to be another one of those holiday classics from the show here.
Oh yeah. People are going to be singing along to those for Christmases to come, man.
Yeah. I can just hear it now, and it kind of makes me a little bit sick to the stomach. All right. We're going to be back in just a moment because, well, we've got more to go. A fair amount.
Oh, it's going to be a long show.
At the end of each month, it's AmateurLogic's Ham College, the new show for those new to the hobby and those wanting to get into amateur radio.
Which of the following is a purpose of the amateur radio service as stated in the FCC rules and regulations?
That inductor and capacitor form a tuned circuit. That's how you tune the radio to the frequency that you want. The English language.
We lived in town. I liked it. I listened to mine a lot. It was really cool because you didn't have to have a battery to power it.
There's our homemade telegraph station. We can use it for long distance communications. Like 3 feet here.
Across the table. The answer is B. Voltage was named after Italian physicist Alessandro Volta.
We can see we're generating a little bit of electricity there. It's DC.
It's always great to go back and get a refresher.
It sure is.
A lot of that stuff, if you've been a ham for a while like we have, you don't really think about a lot of that stuff that often.
They didn't have electric screwdrivers in those days, so that's why we're not using ones.
That's why we went primitive with it.
Yeah. So let's see if we can hear anything when we fire off our spark gap transmitter.
Oh yeah.
Well, we didn't build anything or blow up anything today, but
the night's still young.
We're ready to go, guys.
Ready to go.
Bring it on.
Okay. Mike, you've got another Christmas greeting here that a friend sent to us.
We do. And actually, I think John's still in the chat room.
Oh, is he?
John's from Coney Island, and as I was mentioning earlier, John was up in the area just a couple of days ago, and I bet you he's glad to be home now because we got hit with snow squalls. But that's John K2BAG, he was in Coney Island, New York, and we text each other. I don't think we've ever talked on the radio or on Skype or anything, but we've sent a lot of text correspondence back and forth over the last couple of years. That's for sure. Thanks for sending that in, John.
Yeah, that looks pretty nice, but it's already looking cold.
Mm-hmm.
I guess maybe it is kind of cool up there. It just got to be winter weather here in the last couple of days where we are.
Yeah, it's been pretty warm.
Yeah.
Incidentally, John's working on a project, and I'm working on the same project. He's a little ahead of me. I don't know if you've heard about these little BitX 40. They're a 40-meter SSB board. They're all ready assembled. The only thing you have to do is, and of course they include all the connectors. The only thing you have to supply is obviously an enclosure, power, and it's a great little board. I mean, with that little heat sink, it'll provide about 5 watts PEP, and there's all kinds of mods. If you go on the Yahoo group for, I think it's the BitX 20 actually, Yahoo group. There's all kinds of information about it. And it's like $45 with free shipping. So I couldn't even I don't think I could even gather up the parts and to put the board together myself for that. So it's a great deal and it's a great little project. And incidentally, I think John's serial number was like 8. It differed by 8. So we ordered ours about the same time, and I think my serial number is eight digits high, or 8 number higher than his. But also John, his enclosure, I just bought an aluminum enclosure, but John actually got creative and took double-sided printed circuit board material, cut it out, and put the edges up to each other, and then soldered it into a box. And we're going to have to twist John's arm to post that on the Google Plus site because it looks fantastic.
Yeah, do that, John. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, that would be neat. I've done that, taking the PC boards and soldering them together and making a box before. It's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks great if you do it right. Mm-hmm. It's
It should make a pretty substantial box too.
Oh, yeah, very
well shielded.
Yeah, very substantial, very well shielded.
You almost want to put a coating of clear lacquer on it because John sent me a picture of it, and being new copper, it's very shiny, very nice looking, and of course that'll tarnish over time if you don't protect it. But it'd be nice to put a clear coat of lacquer on it to keep that nice bright copper color.
Yeah, and I thought about that when I did mine, but I didn't do it, and it's got green fingerprints all over it now. So
well, that's its own special look.
Yep. Camouflage.
Yeah.
Well, with it being the holiday season, I wanted to do something this month that would maybe help a few folks out with their Christmas gift giving. You know, it's that time of year again when you might be looking for some gifts for your ham buddies. And I've got a few suggestions here that I thought I would share with you. Some useful hand tools and some pretty good values as well. First up is this EverTech EV-TL230PA BNC crimp connector tool. It works for RG6, RG58, RG59, RG5, RG62, RG6, RG21, 140, 141, and 142. So it covers a lot of different cables. This one feels real rugged, and while it's not very expensive, I think it probably will work as well for you as a high-cost name brand tool. You can find this at Amazon for just $17.88. If you do any work with BNC connectors, this is exactly the tool you want at a good price. Next up, we've got another crimper here. You can tell this is a cheaper one. Metal's not quite as high quality. This one's for doing spade lugs or ring terminals, that type of connector. There's 3 different sizes that will accommodate most of your standard connectors. Now this one, it ratchets. It works. It's worked okay with crimp terminals. I wouldn't say this is the highest quality tool around, but for crimping spade lugs, it does work pretty good. It's got a good price on it too. You can find this Harbor Freight Central Forge 9740 ratcheting crimping tool, $14.99. Now, I bought this one when it was on sale. I don't remember the price now. I think it was $9.99. So might watch for that when it comes on sale at Harbor Freight. Might want to pick that up. Screwdrivers can be quite pricey, or you can get cheap ones if you want. They don't last very long. These are a couple of Exolite here. They've gotten kind of old now, and the shoulders are getting rounded off a little bit. A bad screwdriver can ruin your day because it's going to strip the heads out on whatever you're trying to work with, or not be able to unscrew that really tight screw. Rather than use regular screwdrivers like this, I really like to use these 1/4-inch magnetic bit screwdriver handles. You know, this is the type of bit like you would use with an electric drill. You just stick it in there. Well, if you can find a screwdriver like this, there's a lot of different bits you can get. I normally buy them in the box here from Lowe's or Home Depot. And what you got here is a permanently good screwdriver, because if you round off the shoulders on that bit, and you eventually will, just throw it away and stick a new one in it for, you know, not much money at all. You can also get a lot of different type of bits for it. These are some security bits here, star drivers, hex drivers, just all kinds of different weird screws that you'll run across. You can pick these up at a lot of different places. I don't remember where I got these or here. But the main thing is, it's hard to find these handles these days. I don't know why, but they don't have them much anymore. They've got these 4-in-1 type of screwdrivers where you can reverse it, but they won't hold those magnetic bits like this. So I finally came up with one. You can find it at a reasonable price. Sears has one, a Craftsman model 43373, 1/4-inch magnetic bit screwdriver handle, $5.98. Now, you know, that might seem like, well, that's a good deal for a Craftsman tool. Think of it as the only screwdriver handle you'll probably ever need to buy. Then just replace the bits. Now here's a tool I found indispensable at times. This is an Exolite XL75 ratchet offset screwdriver. It comes with a couple of Phillips head bits, a couple of flatheads. Insert the bit. Now this is not the same as those magnetic bits, although it's 1/4-inch drive. These actually snap in rather than being magnetic. You turn it and it works like a ratchet. So in those tight spots where you can't get a regular screwdriver in there, this thing will fit and let you work in those tight areas. Now these are not real cheap. You know, you think Amazon's got the best price on everything, but no, that's not always the case. You can find the Exolite XL75 at Amazon for $35.52. However, you can find it at a place I like to shop, MCMelectronics.com, for $22.49. That's $10 less. Now, you might be a cheapskate and say, no, that's more than I want to spend on my ham buddy for Christmas. Well, I've got another solution for you. Now, this is not as good, but it does work. This came from Harbor Freight. It's their version of a ratcheting screwdriver. Comes with a few different sizes of bits, but it does work with those magnetic bits, so you can pretty much put anything you want to in there. Got a little lever here you flip for which direction you need to go. Works just like the Exolite one that I showed you a minute ago. It won't work in quite as tight of areas because it's got that knob on the back there, but still, $2.99. You know, it really wouldn't hurt to have one of these in your toolbox. It's not the best made tool in the world, but could get you out of a jam sometime. Next, I've got one of my favorites here, and you've seen me use this over the years. I've had this for, I don't know how long, 20 years now. This is a Neiko, N-E-I-K-O, 02612A hole punch kit. Now, I've broken off one of the insulators on the handle here, but it doesn't matter. I don't use it with electricity. Now, this is a hole punch kit where you've got a set of dies in here. You can use it with thin sheet metal or aluminum. It just allows you to punch a really clean hole into a piece of metal, or it'll actually punch other stuff too, plastics. It's a great way to punch a clean hole into a thin piece of metal. Now, you can use drill bits, and they work, but you know, it's a little bit more difficult to use a drill bit. If you need to punch a hole that's, say, anywhere from 3/32 to 9/32, this comes with 7 different sizes of dies here. You can find this, no, not $100, no, not $75, $30.11 at Amazon. I highly recommend these. If you do much building, it'll save you that much in time alone. Another tool that you're probably going to need, especially with surface mount stuff these days, is some tweezers. And I've got several different kinds here. These, I don't remember where I bought them from. It was probably some electronics dealer like MCM, Parts Express, maybe even a surplus dealer. But, you know, they're good quality tweezers. Now, if you look at this one right here, it's got rigids in here, so it grips that part and holds onto it really good. If you go to Harbor Freight, you'll find you can buy a pack of multiple tweezers for only $5.99. Unfortunately, these are pretty much junk. I can't get them to hold anything. Everything I try to grip with them slips right out. So Harbor Freight tweezers, I don't know. They don't work for me. Now here's something we just looked at recently. Calipers. Digital electronic calipers. This set will allow you to switch between inches or millimeters. It's a great way to measure anything you need to measure the width of or depth of. And, you know, it'll save you a lot of time and save you from making a lot of mistakes. It's just a lot easier to work with. And these things have gotten really cheap today. This pair right here with the Pittsburgh brand name on it is available at Harbor Freight for $17.99. But if you wait and watch their sale paper, you'll find where you can pick these up for about $10. And then it's a really good deal. So keep your eye out for those digital calipers. Now, if you're a cheapskate and you want to get out without spending much money on your ham buddies, well, you can get this right here, a set of helping hands. Everybody needs one of these, especially if you do any soldering. This is a set I bought at Radio Shack years ago, and I don't remember how much they went for there. A couple of alligator clips. You can pivot them around, get them in any position you want, hold a wire, hold a connector, and they've got a little heft to them. The newer models have a magnifying glass that extends off of them as well. That's pretty handy. You can find these everywhere. As a matter of fact, you can find them at Harbor Freight, $4.99. But wait, if you're really a cheapskate, you can find these for $1.99 if you wait for them to go on sale. I've bought them at that price before. Now those you find at Harbor Freight, they're going to be a little lighter weight. This metal is, I don't know, they've shaved it down, made it smaller. It still works, but it's not going to hold anything super heavy. Now let's look at something that's really convenient. This is an IsoTip Pro 50 butane soldering iron. Got a little reservoir here you just fill up with cigarette lighter butane. Soldering tip. You can also get a blowtorch tip for it. This goes for $25.95. A good price. If you got one of these, you'll really enjoy it because that tip will heat up in about 20 seconds there and you're ready to solder. Step it up a notch. IsoTip has two other models. Here's another one here, a new one that they've just released. This is the IsoTip Solder Pro 90. This one's a little bit larger. It works pretty well though. It's got a built-in igniter, so you don't need a flint or a cigarette lighter to light it with. Heats up just as quick as the other. Gives you a great tool for soldering there, particularly where you don't have access to electricity. It also comes in a handy carrying case here, and you've got several tips to choose from. You've got a heat gun tip. If you put no tip in it, it works as a blowtorch. You've also got a hot knife and a soldering tip. Comes with a little bit of solder and a sponge to clean the tip off with as well. All in all, that's my holiday selection. There's a lot of good tools that you could give your ham buddies there, but, you might just want to keep them for yourself.
I like the little butane soldering iron. I used to have one of those, and it got to where the fuel would leak out of it. But I've had it for years and years. Yeah. I almost bought another one. I started to order it, but I ran across the deal at a ham fest on a DC-powered soldering iron. So I clip it. Usually I use it in my car for working on coax or whatever. But I can clip that one up to the battery.
Cool.
It's pretty cool. But there's some great gift ideas in there.
Yeah, that's just some things, some of them I've had for a while. Some of them I ran across recently and thought they were a good deal. Some is cheap tools, but, for the price, they're...
So when those helping hands go on sale for $1.99, I just need to order a case of them.
For all your ham buddies?
Yeah.
I don't know, Emile. Too
George,
much?
I was overwhelmed, George. Absolutely overwhelmed with that segment. I mean, the chat room was going wild. I couldn't take, if there was going to be one more iteration of the word cheap in there, I would have just fell over and dead.
Yeah, well, it was an opportunistic time there, so I took every opportunity I had.
You did.
Well, now we can't say that Emile always gets out cheap, although, I don't know, Tommy. We better check the date on
what's
this.
in the box here?
We got a package here in...
Oh, you got it.
Oh, and he shipped it by FedEx. Well, no, he didn't.
Wow, big spender.
Alan Elmer shipped it to us.
Yes, the owner of the company.
Cool.
Oh, we got a note in there.
Oh, what is that?
What does it say?
Well, George and Tommy from foreign correspondent K5KQR. Thanks for all you do.
Merry Christmas.
Elmer's, how do you pronounce that? CheeWees?
CheeWees?
CheeWees.
That's from the Big Cheesy.
Nolans.
Oh,
there's several different varieties in here.
Mike and Peter inspired me, guys. So sorry I took so long to catch up with you guys, but I laid it on them.
Well, let's see. We've got.
Hey, it's transparent.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Look.
Oh, that's cool. That's low on calories.
Like Mardi Gras.
There's hardly any calories in that at all.
Well, Tommy, if you hold the box really low to the ground when you eat them, that's the only way it's going to be low in calories.
Green onion,
CheeWees,
cheese curl.
Amounts to 3 package.
Green onion, awesome.
What else have
Man,
we
there's all
got
kinds
there?
of stuff in here.
You're going to try any flavor tonight. It's the green
Let's
onions.
see. Oh, there it is.
Hot and
Hot and
spicy.
spicy. That sounds good.
Green onions for sure, guys.
Green onions, you say.
Man, there's a bunch of original
Do they have-
cheese.
Emile, do they have squirrel flavour?
No squirrel flavor, Peter, yet.
Thank you, Emile, for
Yeah.
no squirrel flavor part too.
We've got some yellow ones there.
Oh, barbecue. Here.
Oh, there's more flavors in there than.
Yeah, there's all kind of stuff in here, man. Oh, awesome.
That's their gift pack that they you could get from them direct, the Elmer's company.
Jalapeno.
I noticed there's like a mouse on the front. It's not made of mice, is it?
I'm not sure, but whatever it is, I'm like,
Wow. That's barbecue. Did we already do that?
Yeah, we saw barbecue.
Yeah.
that's their
Man,
mascot.
there's a bunch of them in there.
Well, it is.
Hot and spicy.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Green onions.
5.
Yeah, I think that was one of each, but that's
Okay.
like, well, you can see there's a ton of them in there.
All right.
I
Well,
take it.
That's awesome. Thanks, Emile.
All right.
well, let's start
I
out
take
So just try them out.
with the originals here.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I'm telling you, the green onions.
I'm going for
that's
the
it.
jalapeno.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are these made in Mississippi?
Hold on, I got to get the back up here.
No, Peter, it's
Fire
New Orleans,
extinguisher.
Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
Actually, no, as we call it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, that smells like jalapeno.
Cheetos. It's
Try the
No,
jalapeno.
I don't do jalapenos.
Oh
I'll
man,
watch you.
it's
The
not
green
strong.
onions are so addictive, it's pathetic.
This
I never
is-
thought I would say that, but they are.
This is good.
Wow. So is that. I feel funny sitting here eating and then here.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
It's hot.
It's a little bit hot.
Oh man, it's not hot.
Today's episode is sponsored by Coke.
Oh, what did you show us
And
earlier, Peter?
CheeWees.
All right.
Oh, yeah. This
hot and spicy?
You must.
Yeah, sure.
You must.
You must. Yeah. Not a bad drop.
And Mike's over there eating moose.
Jerky or burgers?
Actually, he looks more like a koala with antlers.
This is true. Yes.
That's good too.
Mm-hmm.
But it is hot.
Nah, it's not hot.
Give it a minute.
Nah, I'm impervious. Good stuff.
And well,
Where they make these down your way, Emile?
Yeah, that's right here in New Orleans.
we're not going to throw these away, but we're going to sample
No, heck no, we're not
Some of
throwing them away.
barbecue.
Can't go wrong with barbecue on anything. Can't get hold of it. There we go.
Yeah. It's not really, I can't really taste it after the hot and spicy.
That's good.
Once you go there, you got to clear the palate with something. Vegemite, maybe.
I was going to try to bring up John's box, but I couldn't find it on Google Plus. I saw he'd shared it.
All right, so we got one more here we haven't tried. Green onion.
You know, yes, green onions are the reason for the season.
We save the best for last.
I've never tried them with butane soldering toasted. That might work.
I think they're good, but it's kind of hard to tell after the hot and spicy.
Wait a few days until it clears off.
Yeah.
That's good, but I think the hot and spicy ones and the jalapeno ones are probably my favorite.
All right, you go for the spicy.
Okay.
My daughter is in the spicy.
These are
foods.
like Funyuns.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
They're
In a
growing on me.
chewy form.
We should have checked the date on these things. These came from Emile.
Yeah, cheap old man got a deal on them.
Yeah, I got a great deal on those.
Boy, these are great, Emile.
Warehouse Fire or something like that.
These are really good.
In the chat room, Aaron says he bet something doesn't go good with barbecue sauce. He's just not sure what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not sure either, because pretty much everything I found so far goes good with barbecue sauce.
Well,
You haven't found it yet.
You realize what's going to happen now, don't you? These food items are just going to get more and more bizarre because as Emile and Peter and I try to outdo each other. I'm still trying to figure out how to send some Atlantic cod tongue down to you guys.
Some what?
All right.
Still trying to figure out how I can get some Atlantic cod tongue down to you guys.
Yeah. That's going to be
All right,
tough.
Mike, Peter, what we have to do is get together and host a chopped episode of Amateur Logic.
Chop.
Yeah, we chop the coax.
I'll have to see if I can buy some Michigan ones first and send them over. That would be
Those are good, man. I haven't had supper yet either, so they're extra good.
Yeah, we can't forget about Jocelyn either.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I still think I've got some permanent damage to my tongue from
Those chips?
those chips that he sent.
Oh, those chips were good. All right. Thanks again, Emile. Those are awesome.
Yeah, we almost stopped the show right there because as soon as we're through here tonight,
supper time.
Yeah, we got 6 bags of chips to eat, or CheeWees to eat. Okay, well, we've got some things to give away here, Tommy.
Awesome.
Last show we promised that, well, we've got some things here collected in the shack.
6 partial bags of chips? No. Oh, no,
that's not it.
No, we ain't giving that good stuff.
We've got a few items here, though, that just kind of collected up.
So we're going to bring it all up at one time?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay.
We'll talk about them as we get to them. But just some things that, have kind of piled up around the shack here, and we thought, hey, these would make nice Christmas gifts for someone. I think that's all of them.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Well, let's see what we got here. What we did is we just set up an email address, Kristmas2016 at AmateurLogic.TV, and told people to just, send in their name and address or whatever, and we're just going to do a random drawing here. So I pulled up the emails, and we're going to use a random number generator here. It's a good
Since
question.
it takes the most space, let's give away the lab coat first, so we can get some more room off the table here. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
All right. This is an authentic Amateur Logic lab coat from Dayton, 2015, when we did the show from the first show from the Icon booth.
Yep.
It's Icon America and Amateur Logic lab coat.
You've got clearance, Clarence.
That's your vector, Victor.
Over under.
And it may never look quite the same after I finish folding it up. Who's the lucky victim? Winner.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to determine here. Well, it looks like it is mail delivery system failure. Well, they're not going to win. I can tell you right now.
Yeah.
We won't be sending it to them.
I guess the return mail must not have been valid.
Must not have been.
There we go.
Okay, the first one here is, and we didn't require that you be a ham to enter in this. You know, there's anybody who wanted to. So I think the first one here is maybe not a ham, and that's fine. It is from Joe Yotis. And he says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen. I'm still studying for my ticket, but plan on getting it before January 2017. We'll see what happens. I've been watching AmateurLogic.TV in Ham College for about 8 months and want to extend my gratitude for all the effort you put into supporting amateur radio. You all have been an inspiration for me to go ahead and take the test. I'm using my work address for a mailing address because someone is always there to receive packages, unlike my home address. I guess that you can say that work is my home away from home." Yeah, right. He said that. And Joe is in Connecticut.
Cool.
So
Well, he'll need to wear this lab coat because it's probably cold up there.
it could be.
Tommy, somebody in the chat room wants to know if you have CheeWees hands now on the lab coat. That's it. It's signed. with
Big yellow
CheeWees.
handprint right there in the middle.
Yeah, it's got Tommy's DNA on. You can make your own Tommy Martin.
And then get him, the clone, to sing the theme song.
That's it.
Okay, let's choose another one here.
All right, what are we going to give away this time?
Well, let me see.
How about some tape? Amateur Logic Crime Scene.
Official crime scene tape.
ICOM America and Amateur Logic Crime Scene tape. You may have your own crime scene you need to tape off.
Direct from Dayton Hamvention.
Yep. We only got about 15 more rolls of this stuff to go.
No, it's not that many.
Actually, how many do we have left?
After this one, we've got 2 left.
Okay.
How many feet is that?
500 feet. Get your own 500.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Give them the close-up view.
Yep. Amateur Logic and ICOM America Crime Scene tape. There you go. Oh, I got
Okay.
the glare off of it.
What would the cheap old man make with that?
Well, I think the last time I discussed that tape, it was wherever the filming of Amateur Logic TV is happening, it needs to be wrapped in crime tape in general.
Could be considered a crime scene.
At some weeks. Yep.
Oh, hiding behind the thing again there.
Okay, we've got a winner for that, Tommy.
All right.
And it's going to be Jim Grover. And he didn't put his call sign on here, but that's okay. He says, "I'm an amateur extra, volunteer examiner, and ham instructor." Sounds like
Awesome.
our kind of guy.
Yep.
I really enjoy the Four Musketeers of Amateur Logic. For the price of 4, you got 5 tonight. And a roll of crime scene tape.
And a roll of crime scene tape. So enjoy.
Yeah, we'll be
You
getting
have to supply your own crime, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Or you could just have a showing of Amateur Logic.
There you go. Crime part's optional.
Somebody said their cats would love it.
The cats, yeah.
They love chewing it.
All right, Tommy, what do we want to give away next year?
How about this clock?
Okay.
MFJ LED digital alarm clock. Whoops.
It's about time you gave that away.
It is about time.
That is a nice clock.
You'll never be late.
And it's
to
giant.
contest.
It
Giant
only displays
tickets.
12:08.
That's right.
It's the time's right twice a day.
And actually, the cheap old man would have a clock like that. It would only display one time.
Man, I can't put batteries in something over and over. That's like totally against the rules.
Yeah, this one runs off electricity, Emile.
Oh, okay.
But it does have.
It'd be too cheap to plug it in.
Yeah, you know how much that faster that meter will spin?
Yeah, but it's got a place for a battery backup, but we're sure you wouldn't put that in there.
No.
So it'll be flashing most of the time.
Let's see. I
12,
think there's
1208.
pretty sure the
I put it back
battery's
in the wrapper.
Can't remember. But anyway, you'll be on time twice a day. No problem.
Okay, and our winner is going to be Ty Trimpey, or Trimpey, Trimpey. And it's K7WT. And he says, hello, Tommy, George, Peter, and Emile. My name is Ty. I've only been a ham for about a year. Your shows, along with your many other web resources, were very helpful in getting my license, and I continue to enjoy them and learn. This email is my Christmas 2016 drawing entry, and a lucky entry it was, too.
You'll never have excuse to be late again.
Yep, and he's in Oregon, Grants Pass, Oregon. He says, keep up the great work, and thanks again.
Awesome. And thank you. Thanks all you guys for watching.
Yeah.
Okay.
K2BAG says that's alarming.
I didn't hear it. The email was too cheap to put the battery in.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
What's
the
next?
MFJ radio controlled 24-hour dual
Well,
clock.
let's save that for last.
Okay,
That's mighty nice.
save that for
there.
last. And how about a nice high sound
Yeah.
ball cap?
And we didn't even announce this one here. This is
This is a
an authentic hollow ball cap. And it's like, it doesn't have the band in the back, so it stretches to fit
stretches some.
even the biggest heads.
Large to extra large. That should cover most people.
Yeah.
Big load.
It's a nice cap. I've got one of these. I like it. I wear
Yeah,
it.
I do
I'm not
too.
much of a ball cap wearer, but it's my favorite one.
Okay, so got another number here. Eric Toll, WJ4ET. And he says, Merry Christmas, guys. Enjoying the show in North Carolina. And I think he's from North Carolina.
It's a good clue.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Eric. We'll be sending you this Howl
Yep,
Sound ball cap here.
congratulations. Got the authentic sticker on here.
It still does.
It fits your life.
Yeah, it's it's not used.
Yeah, it's not used. Unless you want me to put it on real quick before I send it off. I figure you'd probably rather it didn't.
Yeah. I think-
CheeWees hands handled.
Yep, got cheese thumbprint right there on the bib.
All right, Tommy. So we've got some more clothing apparel there, right?
We do. We have an Icon ensemble here. Icon ball cap and an Icon Ham Crew T-shirt, like we give away on Ham College every month.
Okay.
So somebody's going to get the set.
Yep.
You'll have to let us send us back your size information.
Don Mallison from Fort Dodge, Iowa, N0APC. And he says, hi, guys. And that's all he really needed to say.
That says it all.
Yeah.
What was the last name again?
Mallison. All right, congratulations, Don. You're going to win the combination ICOM Ham Crew T-shirt and ICOM hat.
I hope to see you at the Ham Fest with it on.
Yep.
A Ham Fest somewhere. Down to the clock.
I guess that's the final item there.
That's the final item. Nice MFJ 24-hour or 12 or 24-hour clock, automatically set by WWV.
Transparent.
It's transparent. It's got its own Christmas lights.
You have to supply your own LCD display.
Yeah, it's a clock case.
Okay.
Always accurate.
Always accurate. Well, or maybe we should just say never inaccurate.
You could say that if you wanted to.
Okay. And no, it doesn't come with batteries, Emile.
Okay. My kind of clock.
It's a very nice clock. It's radio controlled. It's a dual display. You can put your local time UTC in it as well. It does 12 or 24 hours. Built-in 10-minute ID timer. Yeah. Really sweet clock.
And this one sets the time from over here. Yep. So that's very cool.
All right, and this. Say again, Emile?
I was going to say live from Boulder, Colorado.
Yep.
Yep.
WWE.
Okay, this one's going to Michael Middleton, KF5MYQ. And he's from Michigan. He says, best regards.
MYQ?
MYQ. All right, best regards to you, Michael. We'll be getting in contact with you and getting this right out. And Tommy, I guess that's all we got to give away this time around, huh?
I've got a mouse. We've got a mouse here.
That's my mouse.
And I've got
the TV sign.
iClass case, and there's a remote control to something right here, so we can still keep going.
And a pen.
And a pen. We've got a nice pen, slightly used, but it's a good one.
Yeah.
The AmateurLogic.TV sign is right there.
Yeah.
You're talking about the sign here. Jim's Engraving made this fine sign for us.
Yeah, that sign's great.
I've talked with Jim just in the last couple of weeks. He's going to be sending us a new sign with the new logo on it.
Oh, great. That's awesome.
Oh,
and he's also,
so you could give that away.
We could give away this part.
He's going to send the mirror part.
Yeah. And
only a cheap old man would give somebody else's stuff away.
Yeah. Well, this one actually has got my call sign and name on it, so I'm not sure that everybody would want it.
Look at that. Man, that George is slick.
For all these years, and you never knew till just then.
We did not. I did not know.
He's sending us a new one with the new font for the logo, so we won't be using Comic Sans anymore for the logo.
There'll be some people that are glad to see it go away.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And he's also sending us one for Ham College.
We don't get much hate mail, but probably some of the worst mail we've ever got is about that font.
When we were using the Comic Sans for the logo. Okay, well, I think this is pretty much wrapping it up for tonight. And we've been going for a little better than 2 hours now, so this will be maybe our longest episode to date.
It'll probably be Christmas time we get finished shooting this one.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, we're using the new rendering process now, so at least it won't be so big you can't download it.
Yeah. Yeah. You got big plans for Christmas?
Yeah, I'm not sure what they are yet, but I'm bound to.
Yeah. My son and I are actually going over to the UK.
You are?
Christmas. Yeah, we're going to leave on Christmas afternoon, actually, and we'll be there for up until New Year's Eve.
You're going to have tea and strumpets?
Tea and strumpets, yeah.
By the way, it's crumpets. It's really crumpets.
Yeah, I know it is. But on Dumb and Dumber, he calls it scrumpets, so I just kind of hung with that.
I called it strumpets, and somebody sent me the definition of strumpets, and it was not what we thought it was.
It's not good?
It was not what we thought it was. So, so you're going to the UK?
Yeah, we're going to fly into London, spend several days there, and then take a train over to Paris. It's been just one day there in Paris, just to say we went.
Wow.
And so anyway, it should be kind of fun.
Well, I'm going to be here. My son and his family will be coming in from Texas, and I'm taking off that week. So
taking off?
Well, not like.
Does the transmitter? Does the transmitter know?
Don't nobody tell the transmitter, please. But yeah, hopefully it won't call. That's one of the hazards of the job.
No, I understand. We have the same problem.
Anyway, looking forward to a few days off and having a fun Christmas with the family. Peter, what's going on down under? I guess it's going to be hot, huh?
It will be hot, probably will be hot. The immediate plans are I'm just waiting on my balloon transmitter to arrive from the US, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll go fly.
Cool. Well, Emile, what about you? What are you doing?
I think I'm going to team up with Repo Clause and start to get proactive on checking the naughty list, because that's some pretty good materials coming out of there.
That's a lot of savings.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
No doubt.
Okay, well, Mike, what about in the Great White North?
Well, I hope to get some of these. I start projects, and I won't tell you what this is, but you can probably guess by the enclosure what it's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
I've been working on this, collecting bits for probably about a year, and it's high time I get some of these projects done. So I started to document my progress on that. So hopefully they might turn into a video.
Cool. Awesome.
Cool. It looks like you have the right parts there, too.
I'm sorry?
It looks like you have the right parts there, too. Most of them.
I hope so. I'll find out. Some of the one of the things just very quickly. One of the hardest things I had finding was the Teflon tubing that goes over top of this 14 gauge copper wire. I ordered it off of eBay, and I couldn't find any local sources, so it ended up coming from China of all places. So everything else was pretty much local, thankfully. But I was gathering of the parts, and then I won't get into a lot of detail here, but there's a lot of conflicting information about this particular project, and you read so many articles, and you kind of have to disseminate and decide for yourself. Okay, is this accurate? Yeah. and you kind of average them all out until you arrive at your own conclusion, and then basically, what I'm going to do is I think this is going to be a two-parter. The one's going to be the build. The second part will be to actually see what it looks like when you hook it up to an analyzer and see what it is actually doing. But between that, that's one of maybe 20 projects that I've gathered up. This is the other one too, that BitX40 that I need to get caught up with John. He's way ahead of me already. So,
do you have the torch that goes with that board, Mike?
Well, thankfully, I don't have to solder anything on that board, but I'll need the torch for the other project that I just showed you.
Hey, does that board take any special equipment?
No, they actually, like I said, they give you everything. The only thing that you need to supply is strangely enough, they give you the tuning pots and the volume pot, but they don't give you any knobs for that. So I had to round up some knobs and the enclosure, but everything else is comes with it. All the interconnecting connectors with the wires, potentiometers. What else is in there? Oh, the BNC connector for the RF output.
You don't need anything for tuning it or aligning.
Well, actually, you know what? That brings up a good point, because, it covers 175 kilohertz segment of anywhere on the 40 meter band, but without some way of measuring where you are, whether that's another receiver or a frequency counter, you really wouldn't know where you're tuning into. So I mentioned that there's a pretty strong active group on the Yahoo groups for the BitX20, which is covering all of the BitX40 topics right now. But there's a lot of mods guys that are hooking up direct digital synthesizers to it instead of using the VFO that's on board.
Cool.
Some guys are hooking up frequency counters to them. So yeah, it's a hacker's delight, actually, and for $45, you really can't go wrong.
Yeah,
that sounds like fun.
That BitX40 project has been around for a while too. So
yeah, I heard it started out in 2003, and originally it was sold as a true kit and then they this is, I think, the third iteration or the third revision of it, and of course it's all pre-assembled, even the toroids. And I have to be honest with you, I used to shy away from kits that required winding your own toroid transformers because they seem to be a bit of a mystery to me. But everything's done for you automatically, and it's all, like I said, machine surface mount components are all installed. There's nothing to solder on here except for connecting up your external controls.
Cool. Well, it sounds like you've got a fun time lined up there for the holidays. I'm going to get back on my Arduino projects.
Yeah.
And, try to knock the one out I've been working on. Right now, I'm designing a PC board because I need some other hardware to go with it. So,
cool.
I don't know that I'll get that finished by Christmas, but I'll spend some time working on it, and it's fun to build stuff.
Yeah.
And experiment, and we encourage that.
Yeah, I've got a kit someone sent. I'm planning on doing here sometime pretty soon. Maybe
Cool.
I'll be home for the week before Christmas, so maybe I'll have a little time to tinker around with some of that.
Cool. Well, we appreciate you being here with us tonight. We hope everyone has a Merry Christmas.
Man, Christmas and Christmas.
Yeah. And a Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah, and whatever.
And, everything else. And, hey, we're looking forward to another great year coming up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Tell them where you can watch Amateur Logic, Tommy.
You can watch us, we're everywhere. You can watch us on YouTube, and then we've got all the downloads, direct downloads.
Mm-hmm. And you can watch us on Roku.
Oh, yeah, the Roku. I don't know why I forget about that, because I watch my Roku every day at home. I just don't usually watch the show on it. But, Roku is one of the more popular platforms that we're viewed on.
Mm-hmm. And you can also subscribe to us on iTunes. And didn't you just add another TV service recently?
It's not a TV service. The Google Play stuff has a podcast section now, so the audio feed is on there.
Okay.
They're not supporting video yet.
Okay.
But when they do, we'll be on there for video as well.
All right. Cool. Well, we appreciate everyone being here with us tonight. Just a couple of things that we always mention at the end of the shows.
If you didn't win some of the swag here, if you want your own, you can get Amateur Logic and Ham College swag at AmateurLogic.Spreadshirt.com.
Yep, and that's
make some great Christmas gifts for your ham buddies as well. You should have had that in your segment.
It's working now. I should have had that in there, but well, you can't have everything.
No, and they're reasonably priced too. We don't really make anything to speak of off of them, but they're just because people wanted them, and so there they are. Come and get them.
Yep. And also, we mention anytime we're streaming live. What do we say? Use at your own risk, because we don't know what's going to happen.
Well, that's pretty much everything we do.
Yeah, but at least we have an opportunity to edit some out and move it to the blooper section for the downloads. But whenever we're live, you can join us on AmateurLogic.TV/chat. There's always a great group of folks in there having a lot of fun. We appreciate them too, and we try to join in, and every now and then we'll see what's going on in there. But every now and then we won't. So there could have been a lot of fun stuff in there that we don't even know about tonight, guys.
Yeah, we've been so busy I haven't been able to pay much attention to it.
I know Mike is usually right on top of that, but we've kind of pulled him away from it tonight a little bit.
Yeah, I see somebody asking if we're going to add Ham College VE shirts, and that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned that once before, and it sort of slipped my mind. I'm going to make a note of that and look into doing that.
A Ham College professor or dean?
Dean Martin,
sure.
Dean Martin.
Yeah.
Professor Thomas.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. All right, also, we want to mention about the social media. We have a group on Facebook. It's facebook.com/group/AmateurLogic.TV. We've also got a Google Plus group or a Google Plus community. Mike is real active in that. And I've noticed Emile hanging out in there a lot.
Yeah.
lately too.
Yeah, it's actually been pretty busy over there.
Yeah, there's some good comment in there, guys. Some good content.
Yeah, every once in a while you'll get some of Mike's Photoshop
You will.
pictures on there.
Yeah.
Mike definitely keeps it interesting and moving.
Yep, he does. We appreciate all you do with that, and everyone else does too. Also, you can follow us on Twitter at AmateurLogic
And at Ham College.
and at Ham College.
We don't
And
do a lot of posting on there, but if you want to get notified about when we're going to shoot live, we do definitely post that every time. So it's a good way to get an alert if you want to catch the live stream.
and if you want to know, hey, I saw you guys do this particular subject in one episode. What episode was it? Where can you find that information out?
Well, you can go where I go, to the wiki, AmateurLogic.TV /wiki.
And there you'll find the show notes for each episode. Our friend Dan, N9LVS, does that.
Absolutely.
A great
Grand.
service.
Really appreciate him doing that.
And he'll include a lot of the links that we mentioned during the show, so you can find them
Yep.
in there as well. So I think that rounds it up. The Marathon Christmas episode.
Yeah, it's almost going to be next Christmas.
Yeah.
We keep going. So.
All right, before we go, Tommy, any final words?
No, just be safe, and if you go to Christmas parties, be careful. Don't drink and drive. And we will see you next year.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Peter, any final words from down under?
Yeah, I'll just echo Tommy's comments. Don't drink and drive. Take care on the roads, and have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next year.
Sounds good. Emile, what about from down south?
Well, don't forget to not just to leave milk and cookies out for Santa, because Repo Claus will be shortly behind them. So leave out your old electronics too. Merry Christmas, everybody.
And Mike, any final?
Well, see, if you're traveling over the holidays, safe journey, and hope you have a Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, and Hanukkah, and I'm probably leaving out others as well.
Yep.
So
Okay.
appreciate you guys being with us this year, and we will see you next year.
Yep. 7-3, everyone. Thanks for being here, and have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, 73.
73s.
73.
Test 1, 2, 3, 4.
Can we disconnect from you temporarily and you possibly reboot or something and see if we can
Sure.
get a little better connection?
Okay.
We
will
won't do anything till you come back.
Okay.
Okay, he's gone now, guys. We can talk about it.
Okay.
Party time. Woohoo!
Fragile.
Fragile. I don't know. How do you say that in Cajun?
In Cajun,
Yeah.
I guess it would be fragile.
It works for me. And you were talking about this little button over here. That's how you would access
Yeah,
those, isn't it?
Yeah, the little round one. This is actually two functions. If you tap that thing, this actually allows you to. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay.
We're going to have a lot of outtakes.
We can't have bloopers on this one.
Oh. Or are you gonna go on till I cracks up?
You know what? I hope I didn't just. I hope this just came unplugged and hadn't been like that.
Oh,
Now we checked it earlier. I think I might have just did it when I was laughing.
oh. Yeah, it was so serious.
I didn't realize what I said, man.
We gotta save this one for the next AmateurLogic or something. You think we need to take a pause? I'm crying over here.
If you tap that thing. If you tap that thing. Okay. If you tap that thing. If you tap that thing. If you tap that thing.